Alright, so let me turn this music off. So, what are we doing today? We're well, we've got a Christmas map, and we've got an event every Friday called Friday Night Battlefield, and I've got a couple of game modes that are under review already by some community guys at DICE. But I think the one that everybody's been asking for is this hostage release mode that I made, because that actually came quite popular for a little while, but it had a few bugs, had a few issues, and basically it was a little bit of a messy game mode, but it worked and it was good. But I think what we're going to do is just do a whole rewrite. I mean, it's already fresh in my mind about what needs to be done about this. I'm just doing a sound check, guys, just bear with me. A few issues. And basically it was a little bit of a messy game mode. So yeah, the idea is that we're going to just do a rewrite of that whole game mode and make it work on the Christmas map. So we're going to actually start in no other than the actual portal editor first, and then we're going to go into the SDK and set up the actual map itself. So if you guys want to grab a piece of paper and a pen, and if you want to load up your Portal SDK, load up the Portal web editor, and you want to learn a few things about how to make a game mode, then yeah, this is the video for you, and you can follow along and well, see how you get on. If at any point you get stuck, just send a message in the chat or just go back, rewind, whatever. It's this stream's being saved to DVR anyway, so you'll be able to watch it back. So first things first, we're going to create a new game mode. It's a Portal custom, and the map rotation first is obviously going to be... Oh! We've got 2 new Portal maps added today. Redline Storage, Area 28 as well. I don't think we can actually really... Can we even do one on the Christmas map? That sucks otherwise. But nevertheless, we're still going to do it for Christmas, so let's just check. Is it only in verified modes? Okay, so there's no rush maps available there. So I'll presume it might be verified conquest. Let's just check. Map rotation, map by Empire State. Is it just Empire? I mean, do we just set it as Empire State? What do we do? Is it not a separate, different map, or is it actually just? I think it's the same map, isn't it? But we'll do it on Empire State anyway, because there's some pretty decent locations on that map anyway to do a hostage release thing. So we're going to do that. So we're going to do a default portal setup, whack it up to an hour for testing purposes. But yeah, we've got 3 new maps: Redline Storage, Area 22B with the satellite dishes. So basically, we've nearly got all of the, most of the locations now from the Battle Royale. I think there's 2 more that they need to do at some point for the next season, but nevertheless, we're not using that today. We're going Empire State. That's what we're going to do. Let's keep it snowy themed for Christmas. Teams, just going to keep everything as standard so far. Everything is standard. Do you know what? Everything is standard. Not going to muck around with that right now. We're going to get straight to this. We're going to just do a quick save of this so we can actually load it up in game and just test. And this is Christmas hostage release. Experience description. Defend or release the hostages and protect them. No, release hostages back to your main base. Do not kill the hostages unless it is required to do so. So this is going to be Op 4, Blue 4. So Op 4 releases the hostages back to their main base. Do snot. To points. This is Blue 4. What am I doing? Op 4 should defend the hostage locations and prevent their release. Kill the hostage if he is escaping to avoid the Blue 4 team from scoring. So this is going to be based on like a rush game mode, but it's not. It's much more complicated than that, because we're going to actually have an AI character as a hostage who's physically going to actually move around the map as a hostage. I don't know whether we're going to get him to follow the person that has released him. Maybe we could. But I think we're just going to set a path for him to actually just go back to the main base and score some points. That's pretty straightforward. And we're going to create new. Go from there. So, first things first. What we want to do is do a simple game setup. So, on game mode started. And from there we're going to just put some basic stuff in, like set game mode score. We don't want to do that. Set scoreboard type. Yep, we do want to do that. And we want to put scoreboard type, and we want this as custom 2 teams. And we want scoreboard header. And we want to put a message in there for the header on the first part. And from there we put a literal message in for the header for the left column. So this is going to be Blue 4. And then the second team is going to be Op 4. We can put some extra things in there, so we'll get to that afterwards. So first things first, let's get over now to our thingy. Where do I do this? How do I do that? Just 1 second. How do I even do that? Right, let's just quickly load up a bit of Godot. Just get that done. Right, whilst that's loading in the background. So we want to set some variables for this match, because we want to record player kills. We want to record we want to record deaths, we want to record revives, we want to record releases. So we're going to do this. New variable, and this is called player kills, and this is for player. We want to do another one called player deaths, and put that as a player. We want to record player assists. We want to record player revives, and we also want to record player releases, and that's got to be how many hostages that person releases or defends. And that's a player as well. Okay. So, game mode setup, we're going to set all those variables. We don't want to do that just now because it's going to be on player join the round. So, new player. This is going to be on player join game. And we're going to set all those variables to 0. So that's a set variable for the player. So the player kills when he joins is going to be set to obviously 0. Set that to 0. Just copy that. We want to do the same with player deaths. We want to do the same with all of those. The assists all set to 0, so they've got a clean scoreboard when they join the game. There we go. And what we can do now here is go to values, set scoreboard player values for that there. And what we've got to do is, instead of set them to 0 as well, we're actually going to make it read from the variable, and then we can just copy and paste that when we need it later, save us rebuilding that same line there. So it's going to be pretty straightforward for later on, and it's going to save a lot of time. So what we've got to do is just go to get variable for the event player, for player kills, for the player deaths. Hang on a second. Yep, player deaths, player assists, and revives, and finally player releases. Okay. And we want to set the title of the scoreboard as well. So we want to set each column. So column set set scoreboard column names. Okay. And these again just messages. So the first one's going to be kills. In fact, we're not even just do that. We just put K, D. What do we put the third one as? Assists, then revives, and then on the final ones we're going to put hostage, or just hostages, whatever. That's done. That's a working setup for a scoreboard, all done in just a small amount of code there, ready to start recording. And as simple as to make those actually count is like you have to put a trigger in for like on player death, etc. like that, blah 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 blah. We're just going to save that now, and what we're going to do is come back over to our Godot setup. Let's get that fully loaded. Whilst that's loaded, what we can do actually is put these in. So player kill, ongoing. So on player earned kill, what we want to do now is change the variable to +1. So we're going to do that. So we're going to set the variable for that player for player kills, and what we want to do is go to add the current variable for player kills, which is 0 or whatever it might be set at, and now all we want to do then is just add 1 to that score like that, and that's simply how to record the player deaths. But what you want to do as well is you would need to put in another set scoreboard player value so it actually shows up on the scoreboard itself. And just to simply do that for now, for on player died, change it from player kills to player deaths, done. All done. Player died. And player assists, very simple again. On player earned kill assist, we'll change it from deaths to assists, done. And what was the next one? Revive. On revived, Player revives. Player revives. Done. And the final one is going to be slightly different. In fact, we're not doing that one because that's going to be counted when somebody does an interaction with the... Yeah, when the interaction's in. So, are we in Godot? Yes, let's close what we've got open here and open up our map. It's not Dumbo, I don't think. Is it Battery? I can't remember. Is it Aftermath? Holy shit, I can't remember which map it is for... What's this then? Yeah, this is it. This is it. Here we are. Right. So what we really want to do here is actually just figure out a decent place to actually put the hostage spawners, and with that we need to put in the interact points, and we're also going to make those interact points like differ each time, and they've all got to be in line with the numbers. So for example, just to test this, we're going to keep our teams where they are, and we're actually just going to set up some hostage stuff. So we're going to put in AI spawner. AI spawner. Just going to put him there, put him up to the ground like that. Just keep him as he is. And what we're going to do is actually make a new node. So we're going to keep the spawners as like complete nodes. So we can just enable the entire node as a number, which is really helpful thing that you can do now. Didn't really work before, but now it does. You can actually like set an object ID as a node, and everything in that node is actually activated on that. So we'll do that when it decides to load the node settings. Here we go, node 3D, and on the left we're just going to call this we're going to call this hostage 1. Now we're going to drag that spawner, actually reparent that to the map. There we go. So we've got the AI spawner, yeah, and the object ID for this spawner. We're going to give this. We're going to name the spawners within like 101, 102, 103. So this is 101, and at that point in time, we need to have the interact point for releasing him. Just like that. And then that interact point will be put up to maybe chest height, like so. Okay, done. Just going to do a save scene as, and we're going to call this Aftermath hostage. And the reason why we're going to keep all of these numbers uniform is simply for the fact that this game mode will then work on all maps, as long as the maps have got their own AI spawners put in. Very straightforward. You don't have to in the editor say, is this the current map? It doesn't matter then. So this is hostage 1, so it's 101 interact point. AI spawner is 101. They can still be the same ID, they're different objects. Okay, and what we want to do now is we want to get Team 1 HQ, and we want to, well, exactly what we want to do. We want to set up a place for, we could actually do it as default to what it was on the Conquest version of the map. So we'll drag this over. we'll line all this up. This is the team 1. I'm just going to close the colorizer because it for some reason bugs out the screen and makes it a little bit harder to see things. So HQ team 1, I'm going to press 7 on my keyboard, zoom out so I can actually see where our HQ is going to be here. So we need a few more spots there, so we're going to go there, there, there. So that's our Team 1 area spawn. And for some reason the default isn't always great, so I'm going to actually drag it down into the ground a bit, like this. And then I'm going to actually change the height to 12. Okay. Just like so, we've got our area. Now, spawn point's pretty straightforward stuff. We'll put vehicles in this map as well, eventually. That's Team 1 done. Team 2 HQ. Which is here, I think, yeah. It's not a very good spawn point, really, is it? It's not a great spawn point at all in the actual game. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're just going to stick with it. We'll move it after if we need to. Go up to 12 height again. Just gives it that extra space. Yeah, this isn't... I mean, it's not the greatest of spawn points. There's better places that they could have spawned in the actual game itself, but they chose this, and yeah, that's the way it's going to be. Not too high off the ground, are they? That one is a little bit. That's perfect. Alright, the teams are set. We're going to keep we're going to keep that area. What I don't like though, again, this is all default at the moment, so I'm going to change this combat area. Don't like that. It's too low. Let's get that into the ground, like so. And we'll put the ceiling up because we might put a helicopter in this or something, but we'll put this at 180. Plenty of space. There we go. So, do a save. We've got our thingy here. So what we also want to do is, it doesn't matter where we put it, we're going to put a few prerequisites into the map now, which are important for later. So first of all, we want to put some sound effects to each time like the hostage is captured, like voiceovers. So we're going to put a module in to the map, and it means you don't have to put it anywhere. So it's something called SFX VO module, one shot 2D. Just put it anywhere. It literally doesn't matter where it is. You can put it. It really doesn't matter where you put it. Put it in a building, stick it up on the roof, put it up in the sky. It doesn't matter. It's there. It's in the map, and it'll load. And then we've got what else have we got? We've got the voiceover. So we want a world icon as well. We want two. In fact, we want two world icons. We want one for the enemy team, one for the friendly team. And what we are going to do is we're going to kind of hide these out the way for the moment. Right out the way. Just so they just don't show up in people's faces straight away. So world icon 1, world icon 2, and all we're going to do is give these a icon number of 201 for team 1. So we know all our icons now are going to be on the 200s, and then 202 for team 2. Hostages are on the 100s, icons in 2, and then we can do 3s or whatever we need to after. So we've got our hostage here all together, and he's combined with an interact point. That's all we need to do there. So now we need to decide on how's the game going to choose when to spawn that. And also we want to make sure that we've got lots of different spawn points for the actual hostage. We'll put, say, 16 on here, but first of all we're going to test it with just one. And then all we're going to do is just change our number to a random ball from like 1 to 16. So at any point in time it'll just randomly spawn in any given location. So we're going to save that. So first things first, we're going to go back to our block editor here. Game setup on game mode started. We're going to set up our icons. So we want set world icon image, icon, set world icon text. We need to set the world icon color and the icon owner. Okay, and what else is there? And we're going to actually disable them as well. So we're just going to load them in first and then disable them. So like I said, what am I doing? So the get world icon, which we said was 201 for the first one. So all of these are ones for 201. All for 201. So get world icon image. So we want to go image, world icon image, and this is going to be a icon for the hostage to put above his head or whatever. So this is going to be Team 1's thing, so we need to make it sort of a blue colour, and it also needs to be what it is. I think the eye is a good one. No. The squad ping is good because it's a location. It's like a location ping, right? We're going to do that. And the icon text is going to be hostage. And the colour, so you have to set a colour as a vector. It reads colours like a vector, RGB, and it's always 0 to 1. So we want this one to be blue, so it's 0 red, 0.6 green, and 1 for blue. So that's going to be like a turquoise blue. And get team, set that to team 1, so only team 1 can see this. And then we're going to disable that by putting a false into enable world icon. It's loaded into the map anyway, so we can enable it and place it wherever we want afterwards. The position can change on the fly with these. And then all we want to do is go set world icon image, copy that, change it to 202. 202. We want to change that to a different colour though, don't we? 202. This one's going to be red this time, so we're going to change that from 1 and that one to 0. And then the owner for this one is going to be team 2. And we're going to also disable 202 at the start of the round. So the icons are ready to go. So how do we now go about making this a random location? So what we're going to do is we're going to make multiple hostages and put them into a place. Okay, let's do that. They all need to be sort of randomised around the area. Let's put one in here. That's a good place. Look. Let's put this bugger in here. Here's one hostage. Is it touching anything? No, that's perfectly fine. Okay, there's one hostage. We're going to just do 4 at the moment, just to keep things simple. I'll put a quick new node in there, and I'm going to call this added stuff. This is just random stuff I'm adding to the map if I don't want to keep it in the list here. It's just to tidy things up. So the world icon, VX module, that can all go into added stuff. Bugger off out of the way. There we go. So let's put 4 hostages in this area. Put one in here. This is always a good spot, look. So we're going to just duplicate that hostage now. And put him in here, in this room. Just like so. And what we're going to do with hostage 2 is change the AI spawner to hostage 2, which is 102. Interact point is also 102. Okay. And then we could just carry on. We put one more, say, let's put one up in here, because these are like prison room things, aren't they? They've got like, what's it, they're like, yeah, they're like plastered walls, aren't they, in here? So here's a good place. It's like plastered walls that can be broken into. Let's put him in here. Back to us. There we go. There we go. There's a 3rd one. We'll just put a 4th one somewhere. We could even put him on the bridge, you know. We could put him on the bridge, but no, we'll put him in here. Just put oh, don't forget we've got to change the IDs here. So this is going to be 103, hostage 103. Same with the interact point 103. Copy and paste him over here, put him in this room. So we've got 4 hostages We can put plenty more hostage locations in on this map, or any map. We can do this on any map. That's the idea. We're just going to do it on this one, hope that it works in the Christmas setup. So we've got our hostages. So this is hostage point 104, interact point 104, and save that as it is. We're actually going to export that as well to MP_aftermath. Okay, right. So back to here. We're going to go to map rotation. We're going to delete that spatial and add that to our map, which is portal, export, and it was levels, and it's MP Aftermath today, 2109. That's the one. Save that in. Before we load it up and test it, let's put some stuff in, important stuff. So on the start of the game, what we need to do is make a variable, okay? And this is going to determine the number that is used for the hostage, the interact points, the icons, everything, all under one number. So we can trigger a whole lot of things with just one variable. So what we're going to do is go new variable, and we're going to keep this global. And we're going to call this current hostage. Okay? And going to go to close, and at the start of the game, so on game setup, up where we've got our variables, that's okay. All the other variables are set to 0 for the player, so it's a new variable set up for this. But the first thing what we would like to do we're going to put an if in here for now, but don't worry about that. It's just so we can separate our code, so we can drag it out, put it back in if it's wrong, and we've not got one big list. We're just going to say if it's true, which is, it is. We're going to put in a wait for 10 seconds after the game mode has started. Okay. And then we're going to go, after 10 seconds, we're going to set that variable. So set the variable for the current hostage. And we put a random real, and we've only got 4 hostages, which are all labelled between 101 and 104. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to pick one of those 4 locations we've put, and then I'll give it a wait of another 2 seconds to make sure that it's all secured, just to allow the server to catch up with people spawning in or whatever it is. Sometimes processes aren't always triggered in the right order, so putting a few waits in there just helps with that a little bit. Okay. And I think what we can do now is actually run a subroutine. Instead of putting this into our code, we're going to actually do a subroutine. So we're going to create a subroutine called new hostage. New hostage. No parameter needed. We're going to put that over to the top left here and run a few things in this subroutine. But we do want it to run that subroutine there. So what is it going to do when I run that subroutine? Well, first of all, we want to spawn AI from a spawner. Okay? Spawn the AI from a spawner. And we're going to put spawner, get the spawner. And the spawner, again, was labelled at whatever it might be, so they're going to get the variable of the current hostage. Okay? So it knows that it's one of the selected ones. That's never going to change. And we're going to do another variable actually here. This is going to get a little bit confusing, but bear with me, because what we need to do is make the icon appear and always stay at the position of the hostage, wherever it is, whichever it is. We're not going to set up multiple icons for multiple hostages, because we want that icon to actually follow that hostage when it's walking back to the base. Now, what team do we put it on? I think we put it on... I think we put it on the enemy team first, so get team. I think we definitely have to do that. We could put it as a team 3, believe it or not. We could set it as team 3 and only show 2 teams in the scoreboard. But we'll see how it works first without that. We're going to put that there because we're actually going to give them a name as well. Give them a name. And we'll call him Hostage. Hostage. There we go. So the AI is going to spawn from one of those 4 locations. That's done. And what we need to do then is enable interact point. And that is interact point of the current hostage, the number, get variable, and we go to true. Now whilst we're at that point, we've got to disable all the other ones on the game setup, so we'll just put that in here. So interact point, so enable interact point, get interact point, so we've got 4 of them, so it's 101. We want to disable those. So 1 is turned off at the start, 102, 103 is disabled, 104 disabled. They're all disabled. I'm going to carry this on for the moment just to save time later. There we go. We're going to eventually have 10 of them. But we've only got 4 at the moment, so we're going to keep that random reel to 4. So that's then going to enable the interact point and spawn that AI player. So I think we could probably just jump in there real quick and test that. So we'll just go to save and we'll just load it and see what happens, shall we? So after 10 seconds of joining the game, it should hopefully select one of those locations. I should have probably spotted the player because we haven't put the icon into place yet, which we'll do straight after this. We're just going to check those 4 locations really quickly and see which one spawned. If it's the first one, then I might have to retest. Yeah, we need to change that boundary, don't we? It's very big. It hasn't saved the... Okay, it hasn't saved the JSON. So we're just going to go to save again. Export current level. Just double check that is definitely added to the rotation. Delete, include, upload, aftermath spatial, and just I just want to make sure that this is actually correct. Let me just open this in Notepad to just double check. Okay, doesn't look like it's saving it. I don't see any interact points there. Yeah, why is my Godot not saving things? Might have to restart that and go through that again. Save scene. I'll close the scene. Let's reopen it. To a save. Export current level. To hostage. Right, let's done it to hostage this time. Let's see if that's better. Let's open that in Notepad. We should see interact points. Yeah, there we go. AI spawner. So I know this is definitely correct now. I can upload that. It's a little bug for some reason in the Godot engine. When you're saving your JSON, it doesn't quite save it if you've saved the name of the map as something else. But if you just reclose it, open it up, and re-export it, that sometimes just fixes it. That's all it needs. But that is definitely done. Yeah, that's all good for me. That should work. And also, was I missing something? But the idea is that we're making this for Empire State. I mean, the loading screen is winter. But the map is not winter, you see. So after 10 seconds we're going to get... See what I've done with the scoreboard already? That's all ready to go. This AI has spawned. It's now on the scoreboard. So we're going to check those 4 locations and see which one he spawned in. So where do we go? There was one here. We put him in here, didn't we? Inside this cage. No, so he's not in that one. He's not in this one either. Is he in here? Here he is. Oh, and he's got a gun. Okay, it works. That's all we need. Perfect. And he is called hostage. Perfect. But what we want to do... What we want to do here... is immediately fix the bugs with what we've just seen. And first of all, he's got weapons. So we don't want him to have any weapons, do we, obviously? So what we're going to do here, make a new rule. Hostage spawner. So we're going to put on spawner on spawner spawned. The condition has to be set here. And we've got to put an equal. And we're going to put event spawner. So from that spawner, we need to identify which spawner it is. It needs to match the spawner of whatever the variable was set at, which is the current hostage. And if it is, perfect. So we're going to remove equipment from that player, which is the AI. Remove, so that's event player still, because he's still classed as a player. And we're going to put equipment. We're going to change all of his equipment slots to. So we're going to remove all of these slots. We don't want him to get any call-ins. We don't want him to give him any class gadgets. He doesn't need to have any gadgets whatsoever. No gadgets. He wants to have bare empty hands. We'll remove everything from that guy. Just like this. He's got nothing. And what we want to do now is we actually want to create him to be called the hostage, which is going to allow us to do things like follow the icon around. So we're going to make another new variable here, and we're going to call this a global variable. Keep it as global variable, and this is active. No, this is going to be hostage player, or hostage entity. No, it doesn't matter. Hostage player is fine. Leave it. That's done. And what we're going to do is set him as that variable. So hostage player is that player. Okay. And then what we want to do now is change the icon positions. So we want to go to enable world icon image. We're going to do that with both of them. Get world icon, and we set them at 202 and 203. Yep, 202. 201 and 203. So 201. We want to turn them on so you can see them. And also 202, and then we want to set the position to that hostage by doing this icon position here, icon, set world icon position for the first one, and we want to then put a vector in there or a location, and to do that is quite straightforward here. So we're just going to go get position, and I think with this now you can actually just do event player instead of having to go through the state of the player like you in the old versions of Portal. You had to do get player state, then the player state, and get the position, and do that in 3 vectors like up, down and backwards. It's like you don't have to do that anymore. It's pretty straightforward on this one, so just do the same for that. And we should now have an icon, and the hostage doesn't have any guns. We'll just quickly test. Yeah, so the idea is to make this work on every map. So when it gets reviewed by DICE, it goes to Battlefield, like Friday Night Battlefield. They can just flick it onto the winter map. So after 10 seconds, no hostage spawned. The hostage is spawned, and we've got the icon for him. Wrong colour. Wrong colour. But we can see the hostage. We know where he is. We don't have to look in all the positions. Oh, he's still got a gun. What the hell? He's still got guns. Why? Why has he got guns? Wow. Okay. Why has he got guns? I've told them to remove them. Primary, secondary, throwable. Okay, that's quite concerning, actually. Have they changed something that I don't know? Maybe I need to do this here. We know this definitely works because the icons work. So something's going wrong here before this point. Just a quick hunch here. I'm not sure why it's done this. But we're going to put that as equals, and we're going to do a get player state on this and make sure that is definitely we could just do it as though it's let's just check. Somebody said my stream has stopped. Really? Has it? No, the stream's fine, guys. Seems to be all good. Looks fine here. So the event player has got to be first of all two things. So it's got to be on team 2. So the event player is definitely on team 2, yeah, because he's a hostage. And we need another one here as well as an and. We want to do a get. We need to get back a state of the player to be AI. So get player state of the event player. And so yeah, another state is an AI soldier. Done. Alright, done. I don't understand why we've got a hiccup here already, just with something so simple. On spawner spawned, correct. That is definitely the right one, isn't it? On player spawned. Oh, AI. On AI spawn. On AI waypoint, parachuting. No, it's definitely that. Yeah, on spawner spawn. That's correct. Yeah, I'm not sure why that failed, but we need to make sure that hostage has definitely got nothing in his hands. He's got no guns, can't kill anybody. Let's see. Let's see what happens. No hostage. Hostage should spawn now. Yep, hostage has spawned. Location. Icon's now not there. So the icon hasn't filled for some reason, so this is where it's going wrong. So set the variable for him. Enable the world icon to his position. But he has spawned. And he's definitely going to have guns. So we might have to separate this from the subroutine. We'll figure this out. Yeah, he's here. and obviously the interact point's still there for him. So we know where this is somewhat going wrong. So he spawns, and his name is Hostage, which is fine. Yeah. I mean, is there actually something wrong with my stream, guys? Because somebody else is saying that it's buggering up. No, nothing wrong with my internet either. It's all good. Strange. It's all good for me. We're going to just change this a little bit. I'm going to change the weight here. I'm going to put, just stick a 2-second weight in, and we're going to actually put the world icon stuff in there. We're going to see if this works, so we're going to put the location of that here. Hostage player. I'm just going to check if that works instead. He immediately becomes a hostage, and then he removes the equipment. We'll just check if that works first. Let's get rid of that for a moment. It's spawning on that current hostage spawner. On the game setup, we might need to put... Have we got to wait in there? Yeah, we've got to wait for 10 seconds, that's fine. I don't actually think that's going to work. But there's been an update in the last 24 hours, and I have no idea the intricacy of what they've added and replaced and fixed, because there has been a lot of bugs in Portal. And they've moved things around, and they've changed the way some of the things work because they're trying to refine it so people can't abuse it. There's always a workaround. So no hostage. Count to 10. Get to the position. We should have the icon appear. Can't see the icon up there. That's fine. Hostage has spawned, and that has worked. So yes, they have fixed something. The question is, does he have guns? We can find out. Yeah, no interact point, that's good. He's got a gun. What the hell, man? He's got guns. Why and how has he got guns? And I've noticed that the icon's at his feet this time. The interact point's correct. Strange. What have they broken then, DICE? So this is working. And this is working. I think what we need to do here is actually put hostage inventory, hostage on hostage setup, we'll call this. We're going to put on player deployed on this and see if this works. I think it's getting too messy already, and we might need to just rework this. We're going to start sending out some notifications for debugging purposes here. Because we need to determine where the code has already gone wrong here. I mean, we're so early on that there's obviously been some serious changes here. Where and why is the question. Let me just work this out in my head. Load OK. Got an idea here. It might not be. Get rid of that completely. We'll come back to that. Just see if it does a test OK from that. See if the spawners have actually been broken somewhere along this update. This will determine that, I reckon. We'll see. Yeah, we definitely can't see the icons over there, so that works. So I hid them up beyond the bridge. Load OK. Right. We'll see. So it has determined that there's somebody spawned from the spawner. And we know where he is. That's working fine. But he's still got to have gun. So the remove equipment from AI is now, like, potentially destroyed. Holy crap, man. And it's OP. Right. We're going to do the workaround. I think DICE have done this to stop bot farms. So, what we're going to do here We're going to change his loadout and give him no chance to fire it by removing his ammo or whatever. So we're going to remove this. So what we're going to do is inventory. Force switch inventory. No, we want to change this. Equipment. Add equipment. Gonna add equipment to him. We're gonna give him a gadget of, I don't know, UAV or something. See, this is slightly different here, and I wanted to see how they've changed this. And I think this is what they've done to potentially prevent bot farming being done. So I'm going to just check the help on this now. Alright, okay. So, gadgets, inventory slot calling. Put him in his inventory slot, that's fine. Yeah, it's still pretty much the same. Put him in slot. Inventory slot. Go into there, and it's going to be gadget 1. And we're going to give him a gadget of missed supply pouch, maybe? No. I don't know what, screw it, call it, give it a motion sensor. Give him a motion sensor, gadget 1, and we're going to switch his inventory as well. Force switch inventory for that player to inventory slot item, gadget 1. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my internet right now. I mean, Jesus. What is the deal with this? Crazy. 144p, what the hell is going on? It's a bit slower than normal, but still. Don't understand why. Load OK. So that has run the command to swap his inventory and force him to switch to that gadget. Now, does he get his gun back out and start shooting at me? I don't know. Oh, he's upstairs. We can go up another level, can't we? Yeah. He's still shooting, man. What the hell? Yeah, something going wrong here. We need to work around this. So we know that add equipment doesn't work. We know that force switched inventory for AI doesn't work here. So on spawner spawned. That's fine. Load OK. We can just put that somewhere else. So I think what we need to do here is a new rule. So we're going to put that rule condition back in here. So equals, and that's the spawner. We get the spawner, and that is the variable set of whatever it was. And also the event spawner. It's not event spawn point. No, it's event spawner. Spawner set. That's done. We're going to try this now. Force. No, we're going to remove equipment after await. We're not going to do that. We're going to do this in the subroutine. We're going to give it a wait of 2 seconds. I'm going to be remove equipment from the hostage player. We're going to try it this way. We're going to do a workaround and see if this is what DICE have done to try and prevent bot farms. So we're going to remove primary weapon. We're going to remove secondary weapon. Going to remove throwables. We're going to remove miscs. We're going to remove melee. Going to remove all of this now. Remove the lot. Remove the lot from him from a subroutine instead. Get rid of that and see if that works. And we're also going to load out done. So we've got 2 different messages. So we're going to know that this is done. Pushes over to there. I think we're going to have a few problems working around the nerfs. Which is one of the other reasons why I actually wanted to rebuild this game mode anyway from scratch, is because the one that I already previously made had been nerfed because of the it was considered a bot farm, even though it literally was impossible to farm bots because the game mode was only to set one AI to spawn, which wasn't even armed. So we should have a loadout OK message as well after. Spawner has been set. There's the icon. Perfect. Loadout done. Let's see. Let's see if it's been officially nerfed by DICE. If he's got a gun right now, DICE have completely nerfed bots and bot farms on this update. Perfect. There's a workaround for you guys. So if you're struggling with bot farms right now, that's how to override the changes that DICE have made. So on the spawner spawned and putting that as an event player to remove his equipment, nah, not going to work. So we've now got an unarmed hostage and an interact point. Yeah. So now we want to make him. We need to set his health. Let's give him some health. So health, we're going to give him some max player health. We're going to give him quite a bit of health because he's going to get hurt and shot. So we're actually going to give him 1,000 health at the moment. We'll probably change that to 700. We're going to give him 1,000 health. Yeah, I also want to add armour to this as well, pickable armour, and I'm going to put in a couple of weapon drops as well, like pick-up items from Battle Royale. And then what I can do is I can make a RedSec free-to-play version of this game mode, and then also a core one which has all of the features. So there'll be like a free-to-play version of this game mode eventually. So I've got to be careful what I do put into this, otherwise free-to-play players won't be able to join, even if it's on a free-to-play map. So I'm going to set his health. Right, that's all good. So what we're going to do now is get into our Godot, and we want to fly over to our base, and we want him to return to here. We're going to use this as in fact, we're just going to put in this temporarily. I'm just using this for nothing but testing purposes. Now the location of a player is always at the feet, so we're just going to put that on the floor, and we're going to use this transform as the location. So interact point. So we want to make sure that only one team can interact with him, which is the people that are releasing him. So this is on player interact. This is going to make him walk back. On player interact. On player interact. So this is hostage release. So on player interact, and the condition is that equals event player is also on the right team, so get team, and he's only allowed to be on team 1 to interact. Team 2 players can't interact with him at all, so he's got to be on team 1, which is me. And is that player interacting with one of the points that we've specified? So equals event interact point is the interact point, which is the location, which is the variable, get variable of the current hostage. If it is, then we can run the commands to do so. So let's have a look. Okay, guys, just give me a minute, because I just want to calculate how this is going to work before I actually just go ahead and try and do it and mess it up. I want to get this right first time. Probably want to give the AI bot like a smoke grenade so he can kind of hide himself from the enemies, and we're also going to swap him onto the friendly team, so the enemies can then also at that point in time they can kill him if he's trying to escape. So yeah, we'll do that as well, I think. Just got to bear with me. So we want to do a few things. So we want to give him a smoke grenade and make him swap to that and not anything else. We want to allow him to be able to sprint or just walk or actually like hide and try and avoid things. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. We'll see. Yeah, just give me a second. So I've got one of those. I've got to put that there. I'm going to put one of those in. One of those. Yeah, put one of those in as well. Probably 3 of those need to go in. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute when I get on with this. It'll be pretty straightforward. Probably 3 more of those as well. Okay, we can do this. Here we go. So as soon as that person has interacted, we want to make him walk. So we want to put AI move to behavior. AI. So we want to get the variable of that current hostage, which is the hostage player. And we're going to create a vector here. And we're going to put in those coordinates for that location. But actually I think we'll probably do something different after this. We'll test this works first. Yeah, this could be a bit more difficult. We were just going to use this just as a... Let's re-parent that first. 2. So we've got its proper coordinates. So minus 673. So minus 673 just as a test. 55. 55. No, wrong one. Minus 164. And whilst he's doing that, we want to give him something as well. So add equipment to that player. And we're we're going to give him a smoke launcher. Gadgets, launcher, smoke grenade. We're going to put that into the slot 4. Gadget 1. Force switch, inventory. 2, that player. 2, that slot. And whilst he's walking, yep, should be able to do that. So AI move behavior. Set move speed. Oh, we're going to make him sprint first because investigating run, slow walk, investigate walk, patrol run, sprint walk. We're going to put him in sprint. We'll see if that works for the moment. And then what we're going to do after is going to change this to an object, which we're going to just spawn in. Even if it's just like an HESCO ball, a wall, or just an ID for an object. And then we'll make him go to that object. Even if it's like a little flagpole, in fact. We could actually make the main base flagpole the objective, or whatever. But we're just going to see how that works first. We'll just reload. I think that's all we need to do for that at the moment, before we get into the nitty-gritty of how that's going to work when he's died, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So the spawner sets, icon set, hostage is spawned, loadout's done. So setting like these notification messages, it just allows you to know what's going on in the background, what commands have been run. It's always choosing this location again, even though it is set to random. It might be just coincidence. Maybe it's not as random as we think it might be. Thought he had a gun then. Right, interact. Go! Go! Move! Are you going to move? Go! Why are you not moving? Okay. I don't even think it set his health, did it? On player interact. So what's the difference between AI validated move to behavior? What does that mean? Why is the difference? Should we find out? Because I don't know. And I think that's newish, kind of new. I don't know. AI move to behavior. Validated? What's this one? Sets a player to move to a valid position on a nav mesh near a location. Well, it's not a nav mesh that we want. Sets a target player a destination to move to. Okay, that's correct. We want to switch his team as well, so team. We want to set that player into team. But he doesn't even change to his equipment when we interact. But yeah, we want to set him to team 1. We're going to change this message to moving, question mark, to see if it's run those commands or not. AI set to, so we want to set that player. Got an idea here. AI. Behave. AI. Behavior. AI LOS. What's this one? Sets a player to move to a location with a line of sight. Well, he doesn't have a line of sight, but we're going to give him a brain and see if that works. Because AI battlefield behavior for that player, but it kind of gives him a brain. Add equipment. Set team to 1. Test it. I mean, realistically, it's like, you know, this should all be done in a subroutine, I think, as well. It's complicated. I think I'm going to actually open a bottle of wine or get some beer in me. I think this would probably help. I think I'll get a beer. I'm just going to move the spawn point somewhere closer to the middle of the map as well, just temporarily. Spawner set. Hey, okay, so it is random. It was just a coincidence on the last few times. The loadout is done, so we know he's not got any weapons. Okay. So something about it not allowing this interact. So we know that it's not even running. So condition is wrong here. Let's just remove the condition completely, shall we? And just see what the wrongs with. Let's just see if there's something wrong with the condition. Maybe there's just something wrong with the condition here and we don't even realise. So equals the interact point is the same as the get interact, is the interact point of the current hostage. Maybe I have to do interact points 1, 2, 3, 4 and each one. Don't know. Or maybe it's, oh. Maybe that is the point. Maybe it's an or. Maybe that's what the problem is here. We'll find out. Because if this works now... It means that even if somebody interacted with a door or something like that, I think that would even trigger it. I don't know, actually. Because interacting, it means interacting with everything. So we need to specify what we're interacting with. So, another boring quick run. I don't want to touch those doors if possible. I don't want to... No, I haven't interacted. Yes! Right, so there's something wrong with the condition. Look, he's going. He's going to run all the way back. And he's finding his own paths. And he's sliding. Ooh. Oh wow, it's a bit fast. I think it needs to slow down. Maybe I'll set his run speed and just sort of half it, or just walk. He's going to run all the way back to here and stop. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Right. We know where we've gone wrong here. So the condition has to be just that. In fact, we're going to make it even better. We're going to make this Team 1. So only somebody on Team 1 can just do this now. Get Team 1. We just need to test. Before we go any further, we're going to have to retest that, I'm afraid. Because otherwise we could really mess things up if we just do this wrong. Because I think what we've got to do is ifs and else. A little bit of a boring stage, but once this mechanic is done, we're good. So we keep this test. We do want to slow him down, so we're going to change his move speed to just run. And then we're going to put an object in for him to run to. So if this still works, then it's reading the fact that I'm on the right team at least. And that means that anybody on the other team cannot interact with this point. I mean, I hope the interaction of bashing doors... I'm not actually pressing on anything at the moment. I'm just bashing the doors open. I'm pressing E, that's fine. Okay, not working. Not working, so we've got a fault with that. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Simple mistake here, guys. And this is how to fix it. Notice the problem. I've just done the worst mistake here, and I didn't even recognise it. Look, I need to get the team of the player that's interacting, so I need to do that. And that has fixed it. That has fixed the entire problem. That's it, fixed. And he should also walk. I'm pretty convinced now that's all I needed to do. It was just a simple mistake that I just oversaw there. So yeah, let's put in that object as well while we're here, see if that actually works. So let's get rid of that. Can we put a flag in or something? Golf stick flag. No, I don't want that. This is an aftermath map. Flagpole diagonal. Flagpole USA. Should we just do that? Okay, we'll just put the flagpole in, shall we? Screw it. There's no flag on it though, is there? Well, it's saying that we can use this. That's new actually in Portal. Flag diagonal. No. Yeah, we could do with having an object which is going to be suitable for this, whether it be a flag or a marker. Truck, dump truck, fire truck, something like that. Dump truck, car, police car. How about that? Why not? Why not? Just use a police car. Let's just put that in. And this is going to be always the return point, so we're actually going to give this an ID of 1000, so we just remember that. I'm just going to save that. Export the current level again. Go back into here and add that new JSON. And yeah, here we go. Save that. So not only we've got a police car that it's going to run to, which is kind of fitting, I suppose. Keep a bit of lore in there. So instead of this, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that and keep that up there for safekeeping. But we'll go back to that location if we have to. It's going to be a pain. But we're going to get an object location. Object. Get object position. Object. Object ID, maybe? No, that's not going to work, is it? Should we just try that? I don't know. Let's just try. Oh. Hang on a second. That just vanished. No, it's not going to let me do a get object position. Object. Okay. What position of get object position? That is correct. So what? Can I just put a number in, or no? Okay. Get object ID. Get spatial object. I think this is it. I think this is it. Spatial object of 1000. And maybe that's all that's required. So I've put the other fix in place there. I've added the JSON. I've made him walk now instead. And I've added a police car and also made that as his return to. the other thing that we want to do now is like, what do we do with the hostage after he's returned back to base? We've got to, obviously we've got to add the correct points to the right teams. We've also got to, we don't want him to just die there because it just looks unrealistic. We're going to make him teleport up to the bridge and then die, or something like that, just so he doesn't die in the view of a player. A bit unrealistic. And we've also got to make sure that if he dies because we made him die, that doesn't trigger it as though... Look at this for some bad map design. Holy crap. Yeah. Jesus, what dice. How did that pass your quality control? That wouldn't have passed in my eyes, I'm sorry. It's simple as that. Being a map designer, that's not good enough. Little mistakes like that. Oh well. Hello. Run. He's walking. And he's going somewhere. He's got a smoke grenade. It's looking good. This is more like it. This is better. It'd be nice to be able to set the skin and the appearance for AI at some point in Portal, and even just having a civilian outfit would be great, just for the sake of having AI. Well, you carry on going where you've got to go, mate. Go to that police car. It's up here. Run to the police car. Oh, he even climbs on top of it. Very cool. So that's all working, guys. I mean, Jesus, I can make him get on a boat and then drive off. Or something. But I want it working on all the maps, so it needs to be sort of tame at the moment, so I know what works for each map. But he's now on my team. Can't hurt him. Enemies can hurt him. He's now on my team. Doesn't look like he's changed. He's still... Yeah. His badge changed as well, accordingly. So yeah, that's all working. That's something that was buggy on day release. No, that's working nice. That's working good. So we know that the 1000 is that ID. So, now, we want... we want to do something quite weird here. We need to do a repeating thing. So we're going to go to while. Get player state. Player. We want to do a state to make sure he's alive. So get soldier state of the hostage player. Make sure that he's alive. So whilst he is alive, it's going to repeat a few things. What we're going to do here is we're going to set the position of the world icon. We can just copy and paste these from the original thingy. Okay. So whilst it's true, whilst it's true, every half a second, so wait, in fact we probably want it even smaller than that, so whilst it's true, so 0.2, it's going to update the location of the icon, and we want to change the text on the icons as well. So when we do this here, we go from set world icon position, so enable world icon image, yes, yes, yes. So we want to icon text, set world icon text, 2 of those. We need to set that one to that, and a message of, so do we say defend, release? Yeah, it's both, isn't it? So we've got, so for team 1 they need to see hostage first. No. No. Just on 2 we want to do defend. On 2 and 2. And on 201 we just want it to, yeah, we'll just put it as hostage, you know. Sod it. We can remove it if it gets in the way. We need to enable the text as well. Enable world icon text. Both of them. So the text now shows up on the icon. When the hostage is here, we want to change that interact. We're going to change that text. So 201, it becomes defend for team 1. And kill for team 2 because he's escaping and we want the other team to then try and kill him. So that's all good then. So every 0.2 seconds it's going to update the icon on his location, as we see here, if he's alive. And then what we're going to do here is go to if distance. This is a complicated bit, so pay attention to this one. So if the distance is less than equal to, so if the distance is less than equal to distance between that player if the distance between the player, which the hostage, and the location he's going to, which is get spatial object position there, and if that position is less than I'm going to say 3 meters, because I've noticed he jumps up on top of the car. If he is, then what we're going to do here is we're going to kill. We're going to teleport him. We're going to teleport that player of that player to, let's find a location to teleport him to. We could just set it at 000, surely. We'll just do it at 000 for the moment. Because I don't think that's going to be a valid location anyway on any map. And it's not going to be very visible for anybody. And he's got a pitch there of 0 as well. That's the rotation that he looks at once he's been teleported. We're going to wait another 0.2 seconds and then we're going to go kill that player. So it's going to kill him. We'll change that to 1 second, give it us at least a second to do that. We might see him die in the air during teleport, we don't know yet. We'll put another default message in there just to say done. Is that worked? And we also want to give that player now the points. So we're going to set the variable for the person that released him in the first place. So player releases for the person that originally interacted, which is here. And we're going to add the original variable of what it is at the moment, so player releases, and we're just going to add 1 to the score of that. So the person who released him, if it makes it back to spawn, gets teleport, gets killed. And then what we can do is this. We can now do a wait for 20 seconds. Okay? And then we're going to spawn a new hostage all over again. And that variable from the game setup needs to be put in there. Game setup. Set variable to randomize a new hostage. New hostage, and again give it another wait for a couple of seconds after that to rerun the new hostage routine. And there we have a loop put in place ready for all of the hostages. We could just respawn hostages all we like now. Yeah. And it's just going to keep going over and over and over until we decide what score to put in. So we can get rid of that there now. We don't need that. I think we're good. And after I've done this test, I'm going to go get a beer. Yeah, I think it's probably time for a beer after this. So we've got the icon defend. We'll release him. Hopefully the marker will keep up with him. What I haven't done though is put a bile break in. I haven't put a break in, which I think we might need to do because it might carry on trying to loop over even though he's not alive. Go, go, go. He's moving. That's correct. It's working. We can keep an eye on him on the map there. You can see him on the map. We can make him spotted on the map as well for the enemy team. So, is the icon following him? It is not following him. Yeah, look. Yeah, look. Okay, so the icon isn't following him. That's a very quick fix. Just getting back to this point, see what happens when he teleports and dies. So this is going to be a 30 by 30 player game. That's it. Done. He's dead. Look, he's dead. And now we'll see another hostage pop up. And that icon should change location, maybe? Spawner set, yeah. So we've got the loop in. We've got the game mode working, basically. So now it's just setting up the position. So defend again. That's okay, it says defend. So we've got to change that, haven't we? Is that why the colour's wrong? Ah, there's the mistake. Maybe the colour is right then on that. That's fixed. Yeah, that's done. It was set to the wrong team for that, which is why it comes up saying defend and not hostage. I don't actually think we want to have that text on. We're going to disable that text. Set world, enable world icon text for that icon. We want to turn that text off and turn it back on when we set up a new hostage. Yeah. Yeah. It's only when he's being released, I think he needs to be turned on. And then off. It needs to be on when he's being released and off. So this is a while statement now. So while he's alive. I'm going to change this to that. We're going to put that as its own separate if statement, and then we're going to duplicate that to there, and we're going to change that to true, and hope that actually just replays, and then at the bottom of the control actions we're going to do a break here, so it breaks that cycle. Hopefully that's enough to make that icon follow. And the icons should actually be the correct colour now. It's because I've got two icons the same overlapping each other, which is giving it that yellow effect. So we should have a blue icon and it should be separated. This will be the final test before I go and get a beer. Hostage. There we are, green. Loves choosing this position over the others, but that's fine. We're going to add lots more positions in eventually. There we go. Da, 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 da. Well, that's it. It's following him pretty nicely. And he's still alive. Very good. No other icons appearing. No, it's all smooth. So this map's got some good pathfinding already built into the map, and we're exploiting that just with the AI move to behaviour. Some of the maps don't have very good AI manoeuvre. Yep, he even got inside the car. But the icon stays there, look. See if it moves. See what happens. That icon should move. Yep, there we go. And the text has come back on. That's perfect. Yeah, nice. That's exactly what we want to see, guys. So it's working as intended. Very, very little bloatware in the code. The only thing that's a bit bloaty for the server is the fact that the icon's refreshing itself at 0.2. I'm actually going to put it to 0.1 and speed it up so it's more smooth. We should just have this repeating motion now. Yeah, nice. This is perfect. And he's got smoke grenade as well, so if he was to see if he was to see enemies, he would actually fire the smoke at them to try and, you know, the idea is for him to try and conceal himself running away, which would be nice. I'm not sure how this works with AI backfill bots. Maybe we can find out. I'd rather keep them turned off because I don't want to exploit the XP issues. So. He even gets inside the police car. Perfect. So we can do this now with every single one. And he's dead. The icon's there as well. I think I should probably turn that icon off. Should turn the icon off? Yeah, we'll turn the icon off when he disappears. We want the icons turned off for both teams. That's going to be changed to 202. Yeah, we're going to change that to 0.1 so it's really fast to update. New hostage. That's all good. Just got to work on scoring. How do people score this? Yeah. But we'll do that after I've gone and got a beer, so yeah. And I think the word hostage can actually be removed. The icon's there. It doesn't need to be like... Yeah, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's alright. But we'll worry about that after. I mean, it's spawned in this same place as well. And also, I've just noticed that I didn't get a score for releasing the hostage. And I should have had... Oh! That's why. It says that I've got a kill there. Why have I got a kill? So, quickly to fix that. To fix the scoreboard thing, so all we've got to do here is go to just go to one of these things. So scoreboard player values. Yeah, just update that and put that in on the release up here. There. Ah, that's why. Look, player kills. This be. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So we set the player for the player releases. Get the player releases, and set that, add that to 1 if he makes it back into the main base. Okay. So the game setup is going to be the scoring now. So we want to set the scoring. So score. So set game mode score for get team 1. We're going to keep this simple with the scoring because otherwise it gets way too out of hand when you're trying to calculate all these too many scores. So we're going to set the score to 0 at the start of the round, and we're going to get target. Set game mode target score. Target score to win this is going to be, we're going to call it 400. And we actually want to set a variable, new variable for this, to change how many we're going to do here. So on a case of player earning a kill, it can't add to that score if it's team 1. It's only team 2 that's going to score from kills. We're going to score from team 1's from the hostage releases. So We're going to do this in a little bit of a weird way. So we're going to make a new variable, new global variable, and we're going to call this team1 scoring, or just score. Yeah. Keep that as global. Close that. On a new game setup here, we're going to add that variable as team1 score, and we're going to set that score to 0. So, player kills. We don't want it to do anything at all. We're going to set the variable. No, we're not. We're going to set the team score. Score. Set game mode score for we could just do it for team. In fact, it makes no difference. Yeah, we don't need to do this separate. We don't need to do that because we're going to use the variable to be the power number on this. So set team1, and we want to set that to the value of team1 score. Okay, we're going to do the same for get player died. We're going to set that for player assists. We're going to set that for revives. All of that. It's always going to be set to whatever I say it's going to be set at. And the only way to get that score for team 1 is to get points here. And that's where we set variable for team 1 score. Add 1 to the current score for the team, and 1. And we want to change the headers now as well. We're gonna set that up in the headers. So the scoreboard headers. So we're going to put hostage that of 4. They've got to release a total of 4 hostages. We'll change that if necessary. And the reason why I put those little brackets in there, just like that, hostage, so that's just going to be the number that I've got to set for the score. And those 2 brackets are going to read from that message there. And that message there is going to be inserted into those 2 brackets, which is going to be the variable, which is team 1 score. Alright? And these guys are getting kills. Yeah? Kills. Of how many did we say? 400 kills? 400 kills. Okay? And that we're going to get game mode score. Get game mode score for team. Get team. Get team 2. And that's going to put the number of kills they've got, or the score, or whatever they've done to kill people. Okay? And that's going to be updated each time as well, scoreboard header. So we need to now duplicate that and put that into every part of the aspect of all of those things. So set variable team1 score, we're going to update the header there, and then we want to update the header for most things here. So new player join game. Yeah, we can do it there. We can do that. We can do one there as well. Scoreboard header, yeah. Scoreboard header, yeah. Scoreboard header, yeah. So the header is now going to be like a scoreboard as well as what the values are. So that's part's done. Pretty straightforward stuff that is there. Going to move that one up there to there. Cool. The game mode's done, guys, so it's time for me to go and grab a beer. I'm going to stop the stream and put another stream on in about 10-15 minutes. And we're going to put in the sound effects. We're going to put the UI elements in, so it will actually come up and say who's released the hostage. Like it does in Rush, where it says who's released this and that. And I'm going to show you a cool little tool that Battlefield Portal guys have made on making the UI elements. And it's easier and quicker to do that than actually putting figures and numbers in hand by hand, which is still okay to do, but it's just kind of messy when you're doing it just by numbers. This little tool will actually help you do UI elements, and you can just copy and paste like the numbers from the locations, the sizes, the widths, the heights. Yeah, you can do that, and you can see it on the screen as well at the same time. So that's all for this stream, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes.